So here we have a few pros to look at. You got Sinner, Alcaraz, beautiful straight arm. There's a lasso. We got the regular Alcaraz swing here. Watch the take back. Watch the racket position and the straight arm. One more Alcaraz here. Look at that beautiful straight arm. And I'm going to show you this with my 8-year-old student, that he's getting a lot of the characteristics of these ATP players. Here's Fonseca. And just want to whet your appetite here. And look at these beautiful ATP forehands. Look at some of the characteristics. And then when you see my little 8-year-old player, I think you're going to see a lot of similarities, which I think is very exciting and just goes to show you. Here's Dimitrov. Goes to show you that it is possible to get the straight arm. It is possible to get the lag. Here's Ruud. And I think Ruud's forehand is the closest analogy to what my little 8-year-old Eli can do, and he's coming up right now. So, guys, enjoy. You can see all these pros, and let me know if you think the little guy can match this. But look at this straight arm position. Super fantastic. Look at the lag here. Racket lagging behind. Hips rotating, trunk rotating. You have the obliques, the external and internal obliques rotating big time here. You have the hips rotating here. And that's creating the pull on the racket head, which causes that lag. But you have to stay super elastic to get the lag, so he's doing that. Very straight arm at impact here. And then watch this finish. Nice wiper, great internal shoulder rotation. And, you know, I like this kind of finish where the racket is finishing inverted. If you look at where the racket's angled at the end, I like to teach that to my young students. Inverted finish, that promotes a lot of relaxation in the shoulder, elbow, and wrist joints. You're not forcing the racket up like most follow-throughs are typically, up high. Especially young kids are taught to follow through to the top of the shoulder. I think that's probably a mistake. It's better to follow through with more inversion, as shown here. There is, interestingly, a mild catch here. If you can see that, it's almost catching the forearm, almost holding the elbow position. So that just tells you how far around the racket has rotated, which is fantastic. The racket's come all the way around and is inverted down in the finish. The head is nice and still and steady, which I like. Beautiful extension, low to high swing, lifting up, and then relaxing down. And this is another marker, key biomarker that I like, where the arm is so relaxed and the kid's got so much mobility, flexibility, that you can see right here that the upper arm and the elbow is basically plastered to the abdomen, to the trunk. I like that. I don't like this, I like when the kid's that flexible that they can bring their arm all the way across like that. That's called horizontal adduction, horizontal adduction. So he's got this full horizontally adducted position of the shoulder, and everything's super relaxed and whippy at the end here. I just love that. Let's roll through and see a few more. You guys want to see a few in real time or semi-real time? Looking real nice. So these are normal ones, right? Normal power shots. And I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you something that's going to... This is that little extra next gen that I'm talking about. So he comes from the preparation here. The racket starts to drop. And as the racket's dropping, you see this extra rotation right there? That's going to put... I think that may put the internal shoulder rotators on more stretch. So we know that when you pronate the forearm, it can trigger the internal shoulder rotation. And I think that's what's happening there. And look at this position. Pull, and straight to the ball here. Making that nice pull through the slot here. Great drop of the racket head for topspin. You can tell this is going to be a really good topspin swing here. Look at that extension here. Look how it extends up and out. Lifting and extending. That's the key. You don't wiper too soon.